Good morning, Run Talks, Jay here. So today I want to talk to you about unlocking your secret strategy for motivation and performance. Now, have you ever had one of those days where you're just like, I just don't feel like it, I just don't want to? And you find yourself in a little bit of a slump, or maybe not performing like you know you're capable of performing. And the reason I wanted to talk about this today is because that's the way I felt this morning. I felt like I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to do anything today. I just want to crash on the sofa. That's the way I was actually feeling. Now the problem with this, and the problem is not that you're feeling this way, because I honestly believe we all go through this and we all have those days and we all go through cycles, if you like, where we are ebbing and flowing, where we're really high and then we're a little bit lower, and we're really high and we're a little bit lower. And I think that's just a natural cycle we all go through. However, for me, one of the things I'm a big believer in is training our emotions. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if you find yourself having a bad day, not feeling like doing it, that happens. But if you consistently have those bad days and you succumb to the effect of your emotion, i.e. you're just like, I'm just feeling like shit, I'm not going to do anything, I can't do anything about it, what you ultimately do is you train helplessness. You train yourself to be at the effect of your emotions. Now, I'm a big believer that we need to train our mind. We need to be the cause of our life, because I'm such a believer in cause and effect. Everything has a cause and everything has an effect. People talk about luck. Luck is just unexamined cause. Think about that for a second. People say it's luck. No, there was some kind of cause which we might not understand, which we call it luck. So, coming back to the emotions piece, we want to be causal over our emotions. Now, there are kind of like three reasons why I think that people might be, going through the motions, having a bit of a bad day, and it's kind of like three categories, if you like. The first one is there's been some kind of big event in your life. There's some big event. So people have major events that happen in our life. People have deaths in a family, people go through a divorce, people have breakups, people lose businesses. Those are major events that happen in people's lives. And what often comes with them is some kind of grief or loss or some kind of sadness. And what can often happen is that puts us in a slump. So to actually expect ourselves to still be able to perform, to still be able to be our best, is unrealistic. So we create this unrealistic expectation, which leads to lots of frustration, and that leads to more sadness, and then we just end up going in this repetitive cycle. The second one, good morning, Brooke, good morning, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. The second one is consistent events. Now, what do I mean by consistent events? Consistent events are things like burnout. They're things like stress. You've been going at it and going at it for a period of time, but you haven't really taken time to disconnect, to switch off. Social media, believe it or not, and overstimulation can actually cause this. This is where, if you're constantly picking up your phone, and I read a statistic somewhere, on average people pick up their phone at least 90 times a day. That's the average. So if you think about that, not only are you training your attention span, but you're constantly being stimulated. And this can often lead to an element of burnout. And when we're burnt out, we feel like we're low in energy. We're quite often overwhelmed by that. Our mind just can't take any more. It's frazzled. Our attention span is frazzled. So we feel like down, that sadness, and we're just going through the motions to get through, which naturally is not going to produce any level of peak performance. And the last thing is, I'm just going to call it smaller events. Smaller events, like I had a crap night's sleep last night. I didn't sleep very well. My wife Vicky, I think she was struggling as well, and she was rolling over and moving about, and I'm quite a light sleeper, and that affected me. Other things, you might have tried to land a client or a deal or something in your business, and they rejected you. Simple rejection can lead to you feeling a little bit, can I really do this? It can induce some self-doubt, frustration, small little events. So when we're trying to look at how we find our magic formula, how we overcome this, the first thing we need to do is identify the category in which that resides. So just simply ask yourself the question, what's been happening in my life today? What's been happening in my life over the last few weeks, or even the few months, or even this year, that's influencing the way I feel? Because I guarantee it's something that you've been doing or something that's happened that's influencing your emotions. 100%. Now, how do we overcome this? How do we deal with this? Naturally, you can say I'm pretty pumped up right now. I'm pretty energetic. So this is a stark contrast to how I felt this morning, where I got out of bed and I was like, oh God, it's that job now, a pain in the ass. My business, my life, gym. I don't want to do that stuff. I'm sure you'll agree, right? I love giving you work, Brooke. Now, how did I do it? And how can, more importantly, you do it? So think about a time where you've had something similar happen. Think about a time where you've had something similar happen. Because in your life, I guarantee this is not the first time this has happened to you. It won't be. You've had times where you've been down. You've had times where you didn't feel like it. You've had times where you weren't performing. And what people say to me all the time is, Jay, I'm just not performing at the level I want to be, or I'm unmotivated, or I'm not feeling particularly like, let's go. And I'm like, okay, so what are you doing differently to what you normally do? And they're like, well, I've stopped going to the gym, I've stopped meditating, I've stopped, I'm doing too much, I'm taking on too much. I'm like, interesting that one, isn't it? So think about a time in your life where you felt sad, or you felt down, or you were underperforming, and look at the reasons why that was happening. That's the first part. Then you want to look at, okay, well, what did I do to process that and move through that? Because you have a winning formula. I'm going to give you my winning formula as an example right now. So this morning I woke up and I realized I'm not feeling it. So the first thing I always do when I'm like low on energy, I'm not feeling it, is this. Water. Quality H2O. If we're suffering with low energy, it can often mean we're dehydrated. That's not necessarily always the cause. So H2O. So I make sure I drink plenty of water. Then what I do is, once I hydrate myself, this morning, I went into an intention meditation. And the intention meditation that I do most mornings is where I look at how I intend to feel, right? This is really important. How do I intend to feel? So I'm talking about focus here. How do I intend to feel throughout the day? Not what I do not intend to feel. I don't want to feel sad. I don't want to. So how do I want to feel? So I set the intention for the day, and I feel it and I visualize it in my body. I want to feel at peace. I want to feel grounded. I want to feel powerful. I want to feel grateful for my life. Can I now feel grateful? And I feel it now, right? As if it's already happened. So I shift my focus. Then what I did is I went to the gym. Or I go for a run. Can't at the minute. I've kind of tore my left calf. Just booked in to see a physio. I go to the gym. Now what does this do? Gym is just a form of movement. I change my physiology. My breathing increases. I push myself. I move my body. That's one of the key things. If you do nothing else, hydrate yourself and go for a walk. Move your body, dance, play with your kids. Whatever it is, just move your freaking body. Physiology. What I also add on top of that is music. Music is a game changer. I love music. For those of you who don't know, I used to be a DJ. And it was the best. It's where I felt most alive. It's partly why I do what I do now and why I intend on putting things like live events. It's why I love video, because I love the stage and I'm gonna own that, right? But I love music, I love people. Music has the ability to shift how you feel like that. So here's what I do. I have a select set of tracks. If I'm not really feeling it, I know that I can tune into them. Do you have some of them? You tune into them and you're like, whoa, this takes me back, throwback. And it takes you back to a time where you were either crushing it, or you were just feeling it, having a really good time. So for me, my favorite film is Gladiator. I love Gladiator. I've watched it like so many times, it's unhealthy. Gladiator is one of my favorite films. And one of the songs in there is by a composer called Hans Zimmer. And it's called Now We Are Free. I listen to that and it just puts me in tears all the time. But some of the stuff I listen to a bit of Florence and the Machine. You've got the love, you've got the love. And I'm like, you've got the love. Some of that. And then I listen to some Evanescence, and I listen to some Linkin Park, and I listen to a bit of Coldplay, Paradise. And all of that stuff works every single time to shift my state. And here's the last thing I do, which is the secret sauce for me personally. And I want you to pay attention to what you did to move through that time where you're feeling unmotivated or you weren't performing. This works every time for me. Give back, add value, share, and make a difference in people's lives. I know without a doubt, doing a video like this one, giving you some value, seeing all of you on here, it's like, yes, this is what I love to do. I love to give to people. Now I've figured out my magic formula. The question is, what is yours? What are you gonna do right now to shift yourself out of the slump? What are you gonna do that you're not doing, that you know that you need to be doing to create the level of performance, the level of motivation that you really want, and train your emotions to go? When I say go, I'm going. This is not to say that you shouldn't feel bad or you shouldn't have bad days. It's definitely not that. But it is about conditioning yourself to go when you need to go. Because there are things that need taken care of in your business right now, in your life, that you must be able to react to. You must be able to push through. And these are some tricks in which to actually do that. And to reinforce this, everything that I just told you, Tony Robbins has a little triangle. And he talks about three main components: focus, physiology, and language and meaning. Think about what I just shared with you. What did I do in the morning? I hydrated, but then I went into a place of focus. What's my intention? What do I want to feel? I focus. The second thing that I did is I went to the gym. I changed my physiology. That changed my breathing. I moved. And the third thing I did is I changed the meaning, the language that I'm giving things. I gave back. I can flip this feeling of motivation into something that can actually add value to people. If I'm feeling this way, how do I shift it? What do I do with it? What's the reason? Why am I doing this thing? Well, it's because you guys on there right now, like Brooke and is it Mauro? Hopefully I've got that right, and Lynn and everybody that's watching. I'm hoping you're getting something for yourself, changing the meaning I give it. It does not need to be bad. It can be something good and healthy. As I spit everywhere. I want to know, what are you getting from this? Hopefully it's giving you some motivation, my energy. is getting you pumped. You're not a tree. Move. Do something different. Don't be a victim of your emotions. Don't be a victim of your lack of motivation or your lack of performance. Be the cause of it. Be causal over your life. Because this is what it really comes down to. Most people who come to me when they start working with me, I was saying this to one of my clients last night, I said, most people come to me are playing victim. They're playing victim. And it's not their fault. Like, they don't know they're playing victim necessarily, but they're saying things like, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have the energy, I don't have the motivation, I don't have the focus. Well, that is at the effect of the spectrum. That's the helpless, I can't do anything about it. And what I help them to do is get back in the driving seat of their lives and their business, to take back command of that by being the cause over their life rather than at the effect of their life. So the question for you really is, which one are you being right now? And which one do you choose to be? Because that's all it is. It's a choice. I woke up this morning and I was like, not really feeling it. But one thing I know, and I always know, is I always have the power to choose. I have the power to choose what I do next. I can't control, like, if someone dies in my life, I have no control over that. That happens. You know, bad things happen to good people. But I can choose how I ultimately respond. So I want to know, what are you hearing from this video? Are you cause or the effect? What's your winning strategy? Whatever you feel like putting in the comments, put that in the comments for me. And until, what day is it? Until Friday, as always, just remember, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're going through, just show up for yourself. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.